Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how to make buttons. So these are kind of buttons you can hook on your shirt, your backpack, whatever, wherever you want to put them. So this is a template. You're going to go to Teacher Share, Pierce, Digital Photo, and there'll be a folder that says buttons on it. And you're going to open up this template. When you open it, there might be some blue lines on it, like this. If those are there when you open that, just go to View and click on Extras and they'll go away. Your goal today is to fill up your circles with whatever kind of buttons you want to make. So you'll have something that kind of looks like this in the end. Your backgrounds don't need to be black, and I'll show you how to change that. But this is the sheet you will save for me, and we're going to put all these on my flash drive. This is not something that needs to go on your website because I want to print these out for you so you can physically make the buttons then. So you could have all of the same one. You can have, all kinds of different designs that you come up with. It's up to you, but everybody can make 12 buttons if you want to make 12 buttons. So the first thing you have to do is decide on an image that something you want to make a button of. So let's see what I got down here. I have Kim Kardashian's face. If I want to make a button out of her face, the first thing I need to do is select it in a circular way. So I'm going to go over here. We've used the rectangle marquee before on the filter project when we were in Pixlr. If you hold that down, it's got an elliptical marquee tool. You're going to want to select that. And then go ahead and come up here to Style and put Fixed Aspect Ratio, and that's going to make it stay as a perfect circle. So you're not going to get some kind of weird shape. So you can kind of already see what your selection is going to look like. I'm not on the moving tool, I'm still on the elliptical, and at that point I can still move this around. If I messed up and I don't have it big enough, I should right now, this is on just selection up here, be able to click off and draw a new circle. So select it. Once I have my circle perfect how I want it, I go to the moving tool and I simply move it over to my template. Once I have it here, I've got my show bounding box selected, but it's not working. So if that happens to you, go to Edit, Transform, Scale, and I will just scale this so it fits in my circle. And if this gets hard to do, you can always zoom in on it, which is probably a good idea. And you can also change the opacity, if you remember in some of the other stuff we've done. That helps you to see what's really going on. And now I can go back to the moving tool and my bounding box is showing. And this kind of thing too, it's kind of helpful once you get it stretched out right, to use the arrows if I need to shift it, arrows on the keyboard. So I'm going to put this back up to 100. And there's my Kim Kardashian button. That was really easy. If, let's say you wanted to make 12 of these, all you would do is start right click, duplicate layer, and all of a sudden you have another layer with Kim sitting on top of the other one, but you can just kind of shift these over and slowly fill all of those templates, all those squares up, rectangles, what are circles? Long day. And in the end, you can turn all these off when you save it so you don't actually have the black circles back there. So that's one option. You can just find images, pictures, cut out the circles and move them over. Pretty easy. The other option you have to create your buttons is to really piece together kind of a composition. So the other thing I thought of was, let's say I want some glitter as my background. So think of like what you want your background. It could be a chevron background. It could be absolutely anything you can think of, and try to look up like glitter wallpaper, glitter background, glitter, give it some kind of good cue. You do the same thing. So I've got my circle. I grab my glitter and move it over. I'm going to keep it big for a minute while I actually make my button. And then let's say I wanted to put a shoe on it. Don't know why. I'm going to duplicate my layer over here, and I just want to cut out my shoe. There's the magic eraser, and if I'm lucky, it's going to erase all of the white, and it erased all of the white. But for the sake of showing this to you, I'm not going to worry about that. So you would want to pen tool something like that out. I'm going to move it over, stretch my shoe out a little bit, so then I could have my image, my shoe, whatever it is. I could put a quote here. You could use the text and write something. You could find other words and move it. So you can really move a lot of things around. get it all in one nice circle. If you piece something together like this, it's helpful to merge these two layers. The shortcut, which means literally merge the top into the one right below it, is Control E on your keyboard, or you're messing with layers, so you can go up here and look at layer. And you got to read these carefully. This one is merged down. Merge visible would merge every layer together. You don't want to do that. We just want to merge the top one that I have clicked down. So I'm going to click that. And so now this is what I have. And then I would go in like the Kim Kardashian and scale it so it fit perfectly into the circle. All right. It's a good idea, see if this makes sense, to not put the shoe right up on the edge here, because you are going to lose, like when you have to cut these circles out, and then it bends the edges just a little bit as you make the button. So anything you have right on the edge would actually maybe disappear a little bit. So any writing, anything important, you want to really keep inside the button area. But you need to fill up all 12, and I'm really not concerned with if you guys make them this way or this way. I just want everybody to have a selection of 12 buttons you want. So if there's movie stars, family members, anything like that that you want, make your buttons, and then everybody will give me one sheet with 12 images on it. And save it as your name, buttons, and a JPEG. So file, save as, so I'd be Pierce, buttons, JPEG, save, and just double check you're on baseline standard, and it doesn't have to be on maximum. We can do about a 7 or something and hit OK. And that is your button tutorial. So good luck with that. And these usually turn out really cool.